Welcome into your PFF prospect profile. Today it's all about cornerback Isaiah Oliver out of Colorado. Everybody's been demanding an Isaiah Oliver breakdown, so we're giving it to you. The long corner out of Colorado. We've been talking about all these short guys who move well. We have Isaiah Oliver who moves well in a straight line and has had a couple of really good seasons, though, from a production standpoint. Last year, 2 Colorado cornerbacks get drafted, but Oliver was still in the show in some of those games as the number 3 guy. So we were expecting a nice breakout season, and he had a solid 2017.
Yeah, and I do think both those guys are reasonably good analogs for what Isaiah Oliver is. He is very similar to the guys that have come out of that system already, and I think that actually says a lot about where he should be drafted, because both of those guys were drafted in the mid-round, 2nd and 3rd. They both have played pretty well, or at least flash potential in the NFL. I suspect Oliver's going to have the same kind of career path. Maybe we'll see him get pushed into the 1st, but I think that might be a little bit rich for what we've seen on his tape so far.
Yeah, so it was Chidobe Awuzie going in the 2nd round to the Dallas Cowboys last year, Akello Witherspoon going early 3rd to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, he has the similar body type as Oliver, the really long body type, but Witherspoon's change of direction was fantastic at the NFL Combine, his 3-cone, all of his movement skills, especially for that size. Oliver's movement skills aren't as clean. What I like about him is the size shows up in press coverage. I feel like he can press and run down the field. Vertical routes, he's outstanding. It's the horizontal stuff, the ins, outs, the slants. That's where I think Oliver struggles a little bit more, even compared to his former teammates.
Yeah, so that is the key, is that a lot of these big, long corners, they are typically at their best in press coverage. They're at their best running down the field, where that length becomes an asset, and the window in which to fit the ball becomes so much smaller. Think Richard Sherman deep down the field. There's almost no place that you can put the football where he isn't able to reach up and swat it away, because he's just bigger, taller, and longer than the receiver trying to get it. Isaiah Oliver, you see exactly the same thing. If we look at his route tree, how that coverage breaks down in the passing game, he allowed an NFL pass rating of just 23.8 on deep go routes. The straight down the field, down the sideline, the college average is 66.9, so that is significantly lower than the NCAA average. He was absolutely outstanding on that stuff where he can utilize his length. The problems occur on tape when you suddenly get him matched up with a shifty guy, and that guy is breaking inside, breaking outside, forcing a long, tall corner to break down and get control of his own body and change its direction quickly. That's where he struggles.
So I think just the same way we give these smaller corners and we say, look, they might struggle with bigger receivers and struggle at the catch point. Oliver's kind of the opposite there. So I think it's all about going to a scheme where you might have teams that like to play matchups, and he gets the bigger, more physical wide receiver to cover, and the better route runners might go to someone else, which is okay. So it's understanding his limitations, where his strengths and weaknesses lie.
Or simply scheme that you play on defense.
Right.
These guys are not all interchangeable for the same teams. Some teams are going to have guys like Denzel Ward. Jair Alexander is their #1 corner because of those change of direction skills, because of the movement, the speed that they have. Some teams are going to have Isaiah Oliver as their #1 corner on the board because he has that length. He has that ability to play press man coverage, to run deep down the field, be a cover 3 guy. Teams like Seattle are going to be much higher on Oliver than some other teams would be.
Yeah, so Oliver's had over 500 snaps each of the last 2 years and played pretty well. Has only given up about 43% completions each of those 2 seasons. As you said, fantastic job working down the field. Also, just gets his hands on a lot of footballs. In his career, 23 pass breakups, 3 interceptions on only 145 targets. So we're talking about a guy who uses that length at the catch point as well. The interception totals aren't great, but he's breaking up a ton of passes. And again, that goes to that whole long corner type of deal and the ability to, even if you're not in perfect position, recover just enough to break up the pass.
One number, though, that is a little bit concerning and highlights those change of direction problems that we talked about earlier, and I'm reading this now from the PFF draft guide that you'll be able to get yourself if you have PFF Edge or Elite. He allowed over 25% of the yardage he gave up in coverage was after the catch. So that highlights this change of direction problem where you're allowing a lot of separation on that underneath stuff. So when you do give up the catch, you're not in position to stop that guy dead in his tracks. He's getting a little bit more on top of that as well. That's a thing to work on the next level. He needs to be able to tighten up that change of direction, be in tighter coverage on the underneath stuff to prevent those smaller catches becoming bigger plays.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you that Oliver's draft status or stock or where he shows up on various boards will certainly be scheme dependent. He'll be much higher on certain boards, a little bit lower on others. That is Isaiah Oliver, cornerback from Colorado, one of the best cornerbacks in the draft.